Hello and welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of April 22nd. I'm Terry Morrow and I'm here with Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
For a weekly episode to talk about parenting in a roundabout way, along with a little pop culture.
That's right.
So, Catherine, you mentioned to me that your daughter, who has been in college now for 4 years, has she passed the 4-year mark? Is this the 4 years?
She's hitting the end of her 4th year.
Was doing a thesis defense.
That's right.
And I need to ask you about that, like what that entails and why you are doing it after 4 years. I've always heard about it from PhDs, and I still, even though I know generally what must go on, I imagine somebody like in a suit of armor swinging a lance. Stay away from my thesis! I'll defend it against... To the death, I'll defend it.
That's right.
So, no, but it's not that, right? What happened? Why and how and what are my questions.
Right.
In that order, but take them in whichever order you wish.
So, well, she is getting a bachelor's degree, so you wouldn't necessarily have a thesis, but she is in the honors college at her school. Ooh. So part of that is doing a big paper or project or experiment or whatever of some kind related to your field of study. And actually it is not, I don't know if she has to write this up as a paper, but she did this project where, so she's been working for a couple years at this boba tea shop in the city where she goes to college. And so she proposed a whole marketing plan for this store, revamping the customer experience in the store, totally redoing the website, changing some of the way they do things on social media. So all of these things to try to, improve the experience.
And her major is marketing?
Digital marketing.
There you go. That is
yes. So this morning she had to present her work. So she had a whole, PowerPoint going on. She had to present it to a committee, and then they asked questions, and that was the defense. Okay. So I laughed because after it was, and we were able to watch.
That is so funny.
We were able to, because a few weeks ago she said, "Oh, I guess you won't be able to come to my event."
It's an audience.
Because, it's right after we had just been to her school a week and a half ago and then been away at her skating competition. Like, no, we're not able to make another trip. But she's like, "Oh, but they're going to stream it, so you can watch it." So we did, and, afterwards I texted her and said that she did such a great job, and, she really presented it all so well, and then she had to answer a lot of questions, and she did it very smoothly and confidently answering the questions, and afterwards I said that to her, that, great job with the questions, and she said, "Oh, there were so many questions," which made me think that perhaps no one had prepared her for that. I mean, surely her advisor or someone told her that there would be questions.
I would think so. I mean, I would think that if you're presenting your thesis, you might not expect questions, but defending your thesis implies that people will be coming at it.
Right.
From various angles.
Exactly.
And that you will need to put on the big football pads and crash up against them.
That's right.
Intellectually speaking.
Right. I was wondering if she brought them all tea.
That would have been a good idea. Yeah. So now this isn't a plan that the store actually implemented it.
No, they did.
They did? Oh, so she was able to provide statistics as to how it did?
Yes, some. I mean, some things happened quite recently, so it didn't really work.
Cool, the store.
Yeah, so, and her boss was on the committee that's, evaluating this project and participating because it's her business that was helped by all this. So
did she present some defense as well?
She was just
been attacking.
Yeah, she was just there in her and she's about 8.75 months pregnant too.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know if that played played a part.
Yeah.
But
well, makes it hard to pick up the lance and, jab. So you gotta just offer oral arguments, I guess.
Yes.
That's exciting. And
yeah.
Good training.
I don't know when she did all this because, we've been gone. She's been gone. Yeah. She's been skating and everything. So I'm impressed that she actually...
Kids can multitask. Kids can do things in the middle of the night.
Right.
Kids have much more... I think of the things that I did at the last... in the most inopportune timing that turned out great.
Right.
You must have put a lot of work in this. Yeah, you know what? I've been doing it since 1 this morning, and it came together real well. Thanks.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if there's a paper, but there was a presentation. There was a whole PowerPoint thing.
Of course. So. Digital.
Yes, exactly.
Digital. Used to be you'd get yourself a big piece of poster board, but now it's all digital. Yeah. The poster board industry must just have gone down the drain.
Yes.
We had a package of it was originally probably 5 pieces of poster board that I bought probably 20 or 30 years ago, back when that was a thing one bought. And it's
still
just,
have it.
I came upon 3 empty pieces, and it's I'm never going to use these, but it feels wrong to throw it away. I don't know what to do with it, but now it's all online. Nobody needs the poster board anymore. Wah, wah. But that will be good practice for her for everything that she's going to do, though. I mean, if she's going into marketing, she's going to have to present campaigns and stuff.
Right. And
a good way to do it.
They even asked her, one of the questions was something about what was next for her. And she was able to talk about her internship that she's doing this summer and tie it back directly to, showing a slide on the presentation saying, I will use this.
Wow.
At my internship. So,
wow.
That was
impressive.
Smart. Yeah.
Was the streaming of it, was it also recorded so that you can go back and watch it?
I don't know. I originally thought it was, but it was just WebEx, somebody's meeting. So I now I don't think so.
I mean, if it went, you sort of feel like you would like to go back and see it, but maybe if you're going to say, why did I say that?
Right,
or,
right.
I said the wrong thing. Maybe it's... Yeah. That's why we never listen to our podcast, right?
Right.
Just send it out into the world.
Hope for the best.
We will not do a podcast defense. No. It is what it is.
Right.
Well, that's really interesting and very intimidating, and I'm glad we didn't have that sort of thing when I was in college. Although I would have aced it. I'd have done great.
Oh, yeah.
We all would have, wouldn't we?
Yes.
And we wouldn't have worried about it for weeks ahead of time like we would.
Or after.
And we would have done it at 1 a.m. in the morning of the Tuesday. It was my best study habit. Watch the Tonight Show, maybe take a little nap, and then
get into it.
Yes.
Right. Well, it worked for you.
It worked for me. Not anymore. Mm-hmm. Now the little nap, I wake up at, in the morning.
The little nap lasts many hours.
I can no longer have a little nap.
Right.
It's a lie, my coach tells me. Sure you can. Sure, remember when you used to take a little nap and then wake up and be so productive? Oh, well.
Yeah. Well.
At least I'm not seeing the spirits of dead friends.
That's right. As far as I know, there were no dead friends attending the event today. So, yes, let's get into Reservation Dogs. Season 3, episode 7 was called Wahoo, and that was the one where Rita was visited by Cookie, her friend Cookie, who is Alora's mother, and showed up to visit Rita. Mm-hmm. And play a game called Wahoo. That's where the title came from.
Much to Rita's surprise and discomfort.
Right. Rita was very concerned about what was going on in her life that would cause this.
Right.
So this started right after Rita got basically a job offer, a promotion, I guess it was, within IHS, after her boss or some guy, I don't know who that was, but did a terrible job of
made her think she was being fired.
Right.
And then, oh, no, it's just you're going to be leaving here to go to this fabulous job someplace else.
Right.
So she has to figure out whether she wants to do that, whether she wants to leave a place she's never left, and also what happens with Bear. Mm-hmm. I feel like Bear would not be unhappy about getting out of town, but...
Yeah.
I mean, he did recently flee to California, so...
Right. And while he was there, said, "I'm not going back."
Right. Kind of feel like he might not mind the opportunity there, Mom.
Right.
But would have to leave all his friends behind.
That's right.
Friends with whom he committed a sort of heist in episode 8.
That's right. Episode
Brian
8 was
Grubb would call it a heist.
That's right. It was it was called Send It, and they went to the mental health. What do we call it these days?
The facility where Maximus was, they imagined confined, but in fact, just hanging.
Right. And didn't make the connection, didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That this Shaban, they were thinking his name was Shaban, I think.
Yeah. Yes.
That he was Fixiko's cousin, and Bear didn't realize he was the same person.
Right, until Willie Jack was just looking at file names outside of doors and said that name, and then suddenly the light bulb went on over the head of young Bear, and he realized that he knew this person.
Right.
And the whole thing is presented as in flashbacks of Big trying to... I'm not quite sure what.
I think it was
bus explosion?
The bus explosion, right. Right.
In which nobody was harmed except the bus.
Right. In order to get there, they commandeered a school bus from Kenny Boy's junkyard. Although Kenny Boy insisted on coming along for the ride. And by the time they got back, the bus exploded. Luckily, everyone escaped from it before that happened.
Kenny saw the signs just in time.
Right.
But, so it's at the end. It turns out this whole interview process was just because it was a misdemeanor, I guess, to have an exploding bus. I don't know.
Right.
Kenny threw himself on the at the mercy of the court and mercy of Big, I guess, and took credit for everything, and so that the kids would not get, I guess, a ticket.
Right. A misdemeanor.
But he was taking one for the team. He was finally a member of the team.
Yep. And they're all Res Dogs now.
That's right.
As they said.
They are. The meeting of the gangs, plus a couple of spare parts. And that was very sweet and fun.
Yeah.
Them all working together.
Right. Both of these.
Probably cutting the phone lines at the hospital would be a bigger crime than your bus accidentally exploding.
Right.
But we won't talk about that because we don't want Alora and Jackie to get in trouble.
Right. And Cheese for being... Oh, yeah. I play video games. I can recognize a wire.
If this had truly been a heist, it was not well thought out.
No,
it was very helpful that the person they were breaking out just could leave anytime he wanted to.
Right. He was like, I can just go. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think we're going to have much time to see him integrated back in the community if that is indeed what happens. But nice that he got to at least see his cousin.
Yes. Before. Yes, that was very sweet. And the Rita episode, number 7, was also entertaining. And
very fun.
Just in the way that Rita responds to seeing her friend's spirit, much the same way that Bear interacts with his spirit guy.
Yeah.
And, slightly fascinated, mostly freaked out.
Works out well for the catfish place. Shouldn't have been complaining about it because they sell 2 meals instead of just one.
Right.
If you want to sit there and pretend somebody is going to eat that, okay. Aw, it was nice seeing Cookie. Too bad that she can't actually talk to Alora directly. But
yeah, and then they had little sort of ceremony for Cookie, as they had done for Daniel. And
but Cookie
what was the other time when
Daniel
they
did join?
Yeah, that's true.
That would have been nice. I was expecting that.
What was it when, like, Brownie and Bucky were by the river singing Tom Petty?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot who that was for.
I can't remember who that was for. But yeah, could have used a little Tom Petty this time. Sort of improvisational quality to the ceremonies amongst these folks, but that's fine. We like it.
Absolutely.
So big changes coming up, looks like, in the last 2 episodes. Possibly.
Right.
Possible relocations, possible going to college, possible the joining of 2 gangs.
That's right.
Causing integration difficulties. Who knows? But
yes.
I'm sad that there's not these 2 episodes were a lot of fun.
They were.
And not many more left.
No.
And it's going to have to end on a note of poignance, I would guess. But it may just be the old gang breaking up.
Yeah. Which is the way sometimes with these finale type episodes, right?
Yes. I do just want to say, in reference to our conversation last week about the elders all being in high school in 1976, as was I.
Right.
The actor who plays Fixico was born 10 years before me.
Okay.
Graham Greene who plays Maximus, was born 7 years before me. Why couldn't it have been 1966? I would have felt much better. I mean, the characters, I guess, are my age, although hard living, I guess. Yeah. I don't think I look like that. But maybe. I just looked at those people sitting around the table at the elders' breakfast that Willie Jack crashed and thinking, oh my goodness, do I look that old? Do the people I went to in high school in 1976 look that old? Probably some of them do. I don't know. I don't want to judge. Yeah. But the actors are older, which seems unfair.
Right.
So, 76, it really had to be 76. I mean, 74 wouldn't have been so bad. Because you know how when you go to high school and you look at the pictures of the seniors from the previous classes and they look ancient.
Right.
All right, I'm over it. It's fine. They look fabulous, and I mean no disrespect, but...
It was a rude awakening for you.
I'm 64 years old, and I graduated high school in 77, and so those folks don't look like they graduated high school in 76 or 77, but okay.
Right.
It's fine. It's all made up. Most people playing high school students on TV are in their 20s or early 30s. So
that's right.
I guess that's the way it works. It just works on up the age line.
Absolutely. Well, we should move on to the library find, because it is relevant to our discussion.
Oh, good. Is it going to make me feel ancient?
Well, there's a connection, let's just say.
Okay. All right. I'm a little afraid now, but it's time, I suppose, for Catherine's Library Find of the Week. So, this is a DVD that I saw. So this is a filmed. It's a documentary, and it's called Obit. And it is about the obituary desk at the New York Times. Oh, wow.
So you know how the Times, probably out of all the major newspapers, is known for its obituaries, right?
Yes.
And there's always whether it's, you know, they're always a prominent person, of course, but they're just, you know, they really tell a person's entire life story.
Yes.
And these things are prepared well in advance. You know, they don't throw it together like, oh crap, somebody died, we got it. So they're working on these things, and then they're updating them and revising them and saving them, and until they are needed. And it's just I always read the obituaries in the Times, and you sometimes think about the writers behind them, and that's what this documentary is about. It's not recent; it's several years old, and it is available for rent on Prime, Amazon Prime, or of course you can get it at your local library. Probably,
yes, you can.
Maybe
that's right.
I mean, if they don't have it, they will get it for you from some other library.
Yes.
Might I remind you about interlibrary loans?
You got to tie this into Library Find of the Week somehow, don't you?
Well, I found it at the library, okay. So that's how that works. But
I see.
But yeah, I just thought it was quite a cool topic for a documentary.
I think sometime in my lengthy past as a writer, I wrote obituaries. I mean, not in the creative way that they're done by the New York Times, but in the, here is a basic fact sheet on a person.
Right.
Give me 3 paragraphs. Mm-hmm. So it might have even been when I was in high school. I think it was for the News Chronicle in Thousand Oaks, California. I just put together obituaries. Mm-hmm. I think so. So at some level, the obituary business is just done by a very low-level person, but
right.
the New York Times makes it art to some degree,
right? And then they're writing about prominent people, so there's a story to be told.
Yes. Well, don't we all have a story?
That's right. Well, and another thing that they do at the Times is kind of go back and say, like, who are the people in history that were overlooked, who should have gotten an obituary and didn't, and then they do it belatedly. So.
A little late there.
Yeah. I'm not
more
sure
than 20 years ago, and now you
is.
finally write the obit. Too little, too late, New York Times.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, but I think that looks fascinating. That there was an obituary. There was a documentary about Bill Cunningham, who was the style photographer who did like the street fashion photography for the Times. And he famously like biked all over the city and wore like this little blue French working jacket, and he was like a really well-known and beloved figure, and there's a wonderful documentary about him as well. So he is now had his own obituary, so he's not with us anymore, but anyway,
that sounds like a good way to spend some time.
Yes. Well,
if it was an audiobook, I would listen to it, but...
Yeah. I'm sorry to report that it is not. Perhaps you could play it in the background and not look at the pictures.
Not look at the pictures. Yes.
And just enjoy it that way.
I did finally watch all of the Taylor Swift Eras Tour on Disney+. I think the last time we talked about it here, I had just started it. But I watched all the way through. And then last night was my daughter's 34th birthday. She is the same age as Taylor. And so even though she's not as much of a Swiftie as I am, we watched some of it and she really enjoyed it. And I kept going, can you imagine somebody your age captivating a stadium that huge?
Right.
I just kept rubbing it in.
I'm sure she loved it.
Yes. She could not imagine somebody her age doing those things. Right. So it was impressive. And, of course, by the time you all are hearing this, there will be a new Taylor Swift album, which I am anticipating greatly. It will be dropping the day after we record this. And then I just plan to be in a listening and Twitter following frenzy for the next few days.
Just a loop.
Very exciting.
Well, shall we?
Speaking of the interesting stories of our lives.
That's right. Should we take a spin through the archives and see what we were talking about?
Let's do that.
A year ago and 5 years ago this week. The first one I'm going to revisit is from 2019, and it was called Dental Dilemmas, and it was about, the expense of dental work, is it a scam of dental insurance, and on and on. And I do think it's funny. I mean, it's good, I guess, but my half-time library job, one of the benefits is dental insurance. Like, we don't get health insurance.
Right.
But we get dental. I'm not sure why.
They want your teeth to look good when you smile and check out books.
That's right. In the back room where no patrons can see us.
It must be a thing that dental insurers do, because I think my son also, in his part-time job at Home Depot, has the opportunity to have dental insurance. Mm-hmm. I haven't had him take it, but it must be something that and there's a sort of a grab bag of benefits that you get at part-time there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pet insurance, dental insurance, accident and dismemberment insurance or whatever.
Yes. We get a couple, we get the dental, and it includes vision as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has that too.
And then, yes, a couple of other miscellaneous things, some of which I declined, and some, like 401k, but they weren't matching any, they weren't contributing or matching anything. I was like, well, then I just take the money, thanks. Like, I'm not going to have that withdrawn from my paycheck. I need to spend it now. Give it to me.
Yeah, he also has a 401k, but they do match it, so.
Yeah, so then
at least partially. Good. So it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, that's definitely worth it.
He had one at his previous employer also, so it must be, like I said, somebody has put together a portfolio of inexpensive benefits.
Right. That make them look good
to their part-time people.
Right.
And those people can say, nah. Give me the money.
That's pretty much what I did, yes. But yeah, and then and the ticking time bomb that is the old crown in my mouth is still hanging in there. Tick, tick, tick. I mean, because I had two crowns, and at the age of about 20, one of them gave up the ghost. So now it's been 4 more years, so that the other crown is pushing age 25 and still in there. So
okay. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Every time I had a bad dental hygienist experience with my last dentist. I really liked the dentist. I really liked the practice. I'd only had great experience with the dental hygienist, but then I got this one lady who was rude, and when I started to explain something, she said, nope, let me tell you how to do it.
Oh.
And just, she was awful, and she talked me into getting an electric toothbrush, and I know electric toothbrushes don't work for me. My mouth is too small, but I bought an expensive electric toothbrush. It was the first time we had just gotten dental insurance. It was the first time I used this dental insurance, and I thought, is this the hygienist they give to people with dental insurance? Is like the nasty lady?
Right.
So I just never went back, and they kept sending me things. Are you coming back? And I said, I like the dentist, but you don't want to say, I'm not coming back because I don't like that dental hygienist. Because they'll say, oh, we'll give you somebody else. And then you go there and you get in the chair and she comes in.
Right.
And she knows you bad talked her.
Right.
And it's going to be very unpleasant. So I just didn't go to the dentist for a long while. And then recently I started going back to a dentist I had been to, and I left because he wanted me to have a tooth pulled, and I didn't want to pull it. And then I went through a bunch of other dentists and finally had it pulled. And so now I'm back. It's like, I did it. Okay, I can come back here now.
You're not going to be hassling me about my tooth anymore.
But they're hassling me about the rest of my teeth.
I was going to say, they'll find something else.
Yeah, and your gums aren't so good, and this is receding, and this is blah. So, and then I gave them my dental insurance, and first they said, oh, I don't think we can take this version of it, but we'll check. And then when I went, I just left afterwards, and nobody said anything to me, and I called when I got home. Was I supposed to pay you guys? And they said, oh, no, the insurance is going to pay for it all. I'm like, that seems unlikely. So then I got in the email something from Abella, I think was the name of the company, saying that this was an email bill for what I owed after my dental insurance, which was fairly reasonable. I was surprised. I thought I was going to not pay for much at all because I had x-rays and all this stuff. So I'm like, is this for real or is this a scam? But I, got another email, and then I looked up the company, and it said they're a dental billing company, and I looked up on my insurance how much I owe. They said I owed, and it was exactly the same amount. So I figured it must be okay. So I paid it online. Then I got another email saying I owed the same amount.
Uh-oh.
Then I got something paper from the actual dentist's office saying I owed that amount. So now I'm worried. I did pay it to somebody. Did they get? They say I looked again at the invoice, and it looks like it's paid, and they haven't contacted me again, so I hope it's okay. But this is stressful.
Yeah.
Just let me pay you when I walk out, and then you can pay me back.
Right.
But it's like pulling teeth. Okay.
Well,
get them to acknowledge that I paid.
Right?
Yeah. Anyway. Healthcare. Yay.
Wonderful.
Well, you know what's really good to have your teeth looking nice and sharp and white for?
Yeah, the prom.
The prom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
You can explain to me what proms are like you did for the
for the thesis defense.
Neither of my kids went to their. Well, my son went to his. My son went to his junior prom with his girlfriend and his buddy, and the two guys were done very early. Called up saying, "Come pick us up." I think his girlfriend would have stayed longer, but.
Yeah,
she had to share a ride. So
right.
The guys ate the meal, and then it's like dancing. No, thank you.
Right.
We'll go home now.
Why would we stay any longer at this point?
That's right. The food's done. The music's loud.
Right.
A lot of people here we don't like. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what were we talking about on these two?
Well, the older one. So we talked about this in 2019 and in 2023, and the first one. I think must have been around the time that Nicole's daughter was going.
Yes.
And then
your daughter didn't get her prom.
My daughter did not get her. She had gone to the prom as a junior, and various other dances and stuff. Yes. But then 2020 was when she was supposed to have her senior prom. Obviously, that did not happen.
No.
So that's
such a bummer.
Very sad.
Yes. Do you still have the dress hanging forlornly in a closet?
I finally donated the dress.
Aww.
In the fall. So nice. Yes, I was like considering trying to sell it, and then finally I was like, you know what? I am just going to take the tax deduction. I'm just going to donate it. Like, right. I don't need the...
Yeah. Well, it will go to a senior prom, even though it's...
I hope it does. I mean, it's a beautiful dress. Aww. And, as I've said on this podcast before, it was the only time that we actually spent money on it. Any sum of money on a dress for her.
So because it was your fault. Y'all jinxed it.
Yes, that must have been it. So
yeah.
So and
then in 2023, we're talking about your son's.
My son ended up going to 2 proms, which surprised me quite a bit. Because
Mom, did I mention I'm going to the prom?
Right. I mean, that was kind of his MO for his entire high school career.
Yeah.
Like, I would just assume that he wasn't doing whatever homecoming, prom, any of these dances and events. And then like a day or two before or once it was like an hour before that I find out he was, I'm going. Oh, you are?
Boys, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, great. Got it.
The girl is working like 3 months before trying to figure out the perfect dress, and the guy's like, yeah, I guess I'll go.
Right. When the prom, we did shop for him for for a suit, and it was like an all-day experience. We were like all over the mall, and then we went to the men's warehouse, and then we went back to the mall, and it was a whole thing. So,
and do you have that hanging forlorn in your closet now too?
The suit?
Yeah.
No, he might have took it with him. He may have taken it with him to school. Okay. I mean, he, as we've said,
he likes to look sharp.
He likes his clothes. Like, do we need all these items in your dorm room? I don't think so, but okay.
You'd have to go to a job interview, or a cocktail party. It could happen.
That's right. Or a cocktail party. It's possible.
A funeral. One hopes not.
Yes, but it'll be coming up probably in the next. Well, I think they've already started, like on Facebook, the prom pictures.
Yeah,
I think I've seen one. So it's coming.
Yeah.
I was actually wondering if the prom that he went to, the second one that he went to last year was with a friend who goes to a different school, and she's still, she's a senior this year. So for a minute, I was like, I wonder if she'll want him to go again, but he can't. Anyways, he can't because he has a performance of a show he's working on. So coming up these next 2 weekends, prime prom season.
Yeah.
So
otherwise engaged.
That's right. So that was the prom chat. And we also then had a pair of episodes. This was just last year. And I was surprised to find that these were back to back because we didn't we didn't acknowledge it. It didn't seem like, but maybe we did when we were actually discussing it. But, one was about the transitions or the tensions between young adult kids and parents. And the other one was about how they're all doing great. Thanks very much. So we don't have to worry about it. So I just thought that was a fun combination right there.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. We're still... we're lacking some of those big adult transitions still. Mm-hmm. Although I guess moving downstairs can be considered one.
Right.
But still, everybody's still home.
Yes.
And always has been and probably always will be.
Yeah.
Or at least in the possibly foreseeable future.
Right.
So we still do have generation gaps, certainly. Mm-hmm. My daughter talks about how old school my husband is. I don't know if that word means what you think it means, but okay. But there's tension, definitely.
Right.
More than I would like. But it's I trained my child defense senses, my mama bear instincts to a high degree of efficiency when they were in school. And so I have a hair trigger with that stuff. And so then when my husband yells at one of my kids, I have to attack him, which no, I shouldn't do that. But the other day I said, don't talk to my daughter that way. She's my daughter too.
She's also my daughter.
I guess that gives you right to talk. I don't know it, but it's a problem because I am still, I protect, I defend.
Right.
So, and I feel like they still need that, but I don't want to feel like they still need that.
Yeah.
But I can't go yell at their boss or at coworkers who I feel are being rude. But I can yell at my husband. I can yell at him anytime I want.
He's right here. How handy.
He's probably not going to go away. Probably it'll be okay.
Right.
He'll just be a little gruff for a little bit, but or he'll completely ignore me, which is the other option.
Right.
And I'm used to that as well. That happened a lot in school too. Oh, Mrs. Morrow, just
here she is again.
She'll go away.
Yeah, I mean, we still have disagreements about parenting. It's these kids are pretty much grown, but we still have differences of opinion on how to handle things.
Yes, absolutely.
So that does not go away, surprisingly enough.
It does not. It shouldn't. I mean, I wonder if my kids were moved out, married, had their own homes, had kids, if I would be different. Mm-hmm. Probably not. My mom was pretty defensive of me to a point where it annoyed me. I don't know if my kids are annoyed yet. They're just like, what's the big deal? I'm fine. I don't care.
Right.
Or they do care, but there's nothing to do about it.
Right.
So, but a few times my mom said things to me that I know she meant as mother bear defenses.
Right.
But hit me the wrong way, and I was mad.
Yeah.
So, you can't win, ladies and gentlemen.
No, sure can't.
You never, ever win. Don't even try. Lay in a dark room with Taylor Swift's new album on.
That's right.
And just feel your feelings.
That's her aim with this album, I'm sure.
It is, yes. And she was out and about with her new boyfriend, Travis Kelce, at Coachella. Many, 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 many pictures on Twitter.
Yes.
If you feel like being intrusive in people's good time like that.
Right.
Which I object to. I don't think people should take those pictures. But, they're so cute. Are there more?
I saw one of them described as he at one point he lifted her up so she could see something, and it's like it was like a toaster popping up out of a piece of bread popping up out of a toaster, the way he just whoop up and out.
Man, wouldn't that be useful to have if you were going to something in a crowd?
Yeah. Can I please have a giant and physically fit husband?
It would not be effortless.
Right.
It would involve a lot of grunting.
He's got the muscles, Travis.
Anyway, they come in handy, man. Mm-hmm. Well, that is looking forward to discussing that stuff all next week.
Right.
But for this week, that's it for the Parenting Roundabout Weekly Roundup. Next week, we will be watching Reservation Dogs Season 3, Episode 9, Alora's Dad, and 10, Dig.
Just dig.
Or is it dig? Like, you dig?
I don't know. It's just, it didn't have any punctuation.
I would like to see a hole in the ground.
No, it didn't have any punctuation that I saw.
We hope we will dig it one way or the other.
Right.
You can find all of our episodes on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. You can also talk to us on our Facebook page, on Instagram, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat. And please visit our Amazon shop at amazon.com/shop/momitude, where you can find links to a lot of the things we've talked about over the years. We'll see you back here next Tuesday. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Goodbye, everybody.